Once again, it's story time with Mojave, and Mojave's outside once more trying to find her spot, getting all comfortable. Today on Story Time with Mojave, we're going to talk about some stories from Interarms when I was there in the 90s, and Mojave's not going to care. So let's get started. This is Richard Hoffman with BWE Firearms, and this is Story Time with Mojave. It's a little windy out today, so please excuse me. Today, as I said, we are going to talk about Interarms, and I was there March, April, May 1990 I started, and I worked there through mid-1999, I believe. I decided, my wife and I decided I wanted to work for a gun company, and we sent out thousands of, 500 I believe it was, resumes, and called Interarms, and Art Pierce said, well, come on down and we'll have an interview. So I went down there, ended up getting the job, even though at the interview I looked like an idiot because we had run down to Virginia from Ohio. And I had my suit, and I had my tie, and I had my nice shoes, and forgot my damn socks. So I was at the interview with no socks on. Looked like a schmuck. But I got the job anyways. After, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks, Sam Cummings, the owner of Interarms, had been in his house in Monaco and had just come back into the States. And I came in the back door one morning at a little before 8 o'clock. I think it was 8 or 8:30 we started. And as I was closing the door behind me to make sure it locked, some old guy, I didn't know who he was, grabbed the door, yanked it open, just walked right past me. And, he said, hi, how you doing this morning? Oh, I'm fine. Being only there 2 weeks, I kind of didn't know who the hell he was or if he was supposed to be there. So I ran off to, the guy just walked by like he knew what he was doing. I ran to Art Pierce, and I said, Art. I came in, and some guy just grabbed the door and yanked it open and out of my hand, and like he owned the place, walked right in. And Art started laughing. He said, yeah, that's Sam Cummings. He does own the place. So that was kind of funny. That was my first meeting with Sam. And Sam was a good guy. Treated everybody the same, no matter whether you worked in the warehouse or whether you wore a tie. Working at Interarms, I spent most of my time working with the company engineer and working, testing new guns that the different companies came out with, and doing QC checks on the Walther Americans, TPHs, PPK, PPKSs, which was interesting. One of the days, and it was a little later on, big gusts of wind. Roy Melcher, who was the company engineer at the time, and he's since passed away. He worked for Ruger years before Interarms and then went back to Ruger afterwards. Roy had gone out to lunch with Dick Alexander, who was one of our VP of sales, I believe he was. Well, Roy had a little too much to drink. And one of the guys had gone up to his office, came scurrying back to the gun shop, said, "You got to go check on Roy." I said, "Why do I need to check on Roy? I don't need Roy right now." He said, "No, you got to go check on Roy. I think he's fucking dead." What? So I go up to Roy's office. And there he is, sitting in his chair, back like this, lit cigarette dangling out of his mouth, stuck to his bottom lip, so it's just hanging there. Holy fuck, is he dead? So I went up to him, didn't want to touch a dead guy, so I put my ear close to his chest, kind of in his mouth, so I could see if he was breathing. Yeah, he was fucking breathing. Took the cigarette out of his mouth so he didn't burn himself. And Roy, wake up, Roy. Shook him a little bit. And he's like, "Oh yeah, told me he and Dick went out for a liquid lunch." So that was kind of funny. And about 15 minutes later, after I had gone back into the shop, Roy comes out kind of half staggering a little bit. He wasn't smashed, but he was tipsy. And he said, "I got to thank you for waking me up." And I said, "Oh, no big deal." And he's like, "No, it really is a big deal." He said, like 5 minutes after you left, Dick Winters, the vice president of Interarms, came walking into his office. So he got lucky because he was awake when Dick Winters walked in. That wouldn't have been good if he was passed out. What other stories? Before I got to Interarms, the company engineer was Russ Murray. And I never met Russ. He was killed in a car accident. Well, it was the winter of, I think, 86, so it was about 4 years before I got there. Russ was driving to work or home from work or something, and it was the wintertime in D.C. And he stopped to help somebody that was stuck. And I don't remember if it was a flat tire or whatever the case was, but he got out to help, and some asshole ran him over, killed him. Well, people had always said, "Oh, Russ's ghost is at Interarms." And I never quite thought about it. Until one day, and I'd been there, I don't know, 5 years or so. We had to do a complete inventory of Interarms, which I don't know if it had ever been done at that point. And so that meant I had to go up on the third floor, and there was, I don't know, 2 dozen boxes of just miscellaneous guns. Stuff that was Sam's personal stuff from Sam Bass that Sam Bass kept there, just miscellaneous crap that Interarms had picked up over the years, and just thrown in boxes and set up there. It's up on the third floor. And I was told, go up on the third floor, find every gun you can find up there, inventory it. So I did. And as I was working up there, every time I'd go upstairs, the breaker for the lights would trip. And all the damn lights would go out. I'd have to go back down 3 flights of stairs. Or 2 flights of stairs. Flip the breaker again. Go back up. As soon as I'd get up there, breaker would trip again. Went back down. Turned the breaker on. Went and got some coffee. Did some other things. Came back. Lights were still on upstairs. I could look up the stairways and see. Go back upstairs. As soon as I hit the 3rd floor, breaker trips, lights go out. What the hell's going on? Went and talked to one of the guys who had been there for a while. He said, oh, that's Russ's ghost. You got to say hi to Russ's ghost. You're nuts. Went and talked to Art Pierce because he did, he was in charge of all the building maintenance and all. I said, Art, can we get a new breaker? Because that one apparently is bad. It keeps tripping. And he said, no, that breaker's not bad. I said, well, what the hell do you mean it's not bad? He said, we just replaced that about 3 months ago. There's nothing wrong with it. We had the whole electrical system up there checked. It's Russ. Just say hi. All right. Go up. Get up to the top of the stairs. Hi, Russ. How's it going? Lights didn't go off. Every time I went upstairs, I had to say, hi, Russ. And I'd say, hi, Russ, it's me. Just came to finish the inventory or do whatever. Every time I did that, lights never went out. If I forgot to do it, lights went out. That was kind of freaky. But that's about all the Interarms stories for now. Hope you enjoyed it. Mojave doesn't care still. And you all have a nice day. Bye.